Hi there, everybody. Yesterday, we started our adventure in this great work of Rav Kook, Orot HaTeshuvah, Lights of Return. We learned the introduction. I apologize to everybody out there in digital land. The computer decided to do an upgrade of its system and could not use it to broadcast and record that discussion. So, due apologies. But today we're going to start with Perek Aleph of this great work. And let's just dig right in from Rav Kook, Lights of Return. Et HaTeshuvah, everybody see where we are, Perek Aleph, chapter 1. Okay, we got the Hebrew and the English out there. Okay. Et HaTeshuvah nu motziim b'shalosh marachot. Teshuvah tivit, Teshuvah emunit, Teshuvah sichlit. Teshuvah, this notion of return, is something which, when we make a decision to return, which is sort of a misnomer in terms of the English language, okay, because in English, really a better sense of what we're talking about would be to grow, to move forward. So we, generally speaking, don't push ourselves to move forward unless there's something that is motivating us. Because like in the principles of physics, an object at rest tends to stay at rest unless it's pushed by some kind of factor. And so my good friend over here, Rabbeinu Zev, he was pointing out that when he had some car problems recently, so his natural response was, there must be a message in this painful experience. Okay, and of course that's the point here, that we tend to be motivated to grow because of pain. Now, I just want to give an analogy to this idea, and I don't really think it's an analogy. I think it's actually the thing itself, not the analogy. We have this incredible gift, and that is our ability to sense pain. And from a biological evolutionary point of view, people who study that kind of thing speculate that the ability to sense pain is a very important survival mechanism for obvious reasons. Because if you put your finger in a flame and you don't feel anything, you're probably gonna have a short life.
But you don't learn from that,
right? And and that's also the next point, as the Rebbetzin Moriah pointed out just now, that hopefully also you'll learn for next time not to put your finger in the flame. Okay, so the ability of the body to sense pain is that which creates the motive to adapt, to change, right, in order to respond to that pain that we're experiencing. There are actually neurological disorders in which people don't feel pain, and they are in big trouble. Okay? The only problem is that the same thing exists on a less physical, tangible level, in which we also, if our spiritual antennas are operating properly, let's say our spiritual neurological pain sensory system is operating properly, then we can sense also spiritual pain. And when we sense that spiritual pain, we're motivated, hopefully, to move forward. The only problem is that, as we all have noticed in our own personal lives and looking around the world around us, it seems like most of the world, including us at times, are spiritually anesthetized. We don't feel any pain. And when we don't feel any pain, we're in very big trouble, because then we are not motivated to move, and we exist in a state of anesthetized slumber. Okay. Is that depressing? Okay. So Rav Kook here is going to categorize. It's almost like the way the Rambam might start. The Rambam is very systematic. Discuss a topic divided up in three component parts. Each of those three component parts have three subcomponent parts, etc. So Rav Kook here is approaching it the same way. What are the three realms of pain that motivate us to want to change, want to grow? So he says those three realms of pain that motivate us to want to change are the natural realm, tshuva tivit, natural teva, natural, tshuva emunit, the realm of religion, faith, and tshuva sichlit. The sichlit usually is translated, the word seichel means intellectual, sichlit. Now, like many, whenever you learn a sefer, whenever you learn a book, so there's a certain terminology, like in any field. So what a term means, if you're a computer programmer, that same term may not mean the same thing in a grocery store. Exactly. That was a very good example that Levi just mentioned, right? That right, Benoni, we learned 2 years ago, right? That intermediary character in Tanya, actually, what we would call a perfect righteous person, a perfect tzaddik. So here, tshuva sichlit, intellectual tshuva motivated by intellectual considerations. You'll see it doesn't necessarily mean intellectual in the sense that we think of it. Okay, now let's dig in and define what those categories are. A tshuva tivit yesh shnei chalakim. With regards to the first category of the natural realm, that can be subdivided into two. Okay. Teshuvah tivit gufanit, teshuvah tivit nafshit. A teshuvah, which is in the bodily realm, uteshuvah tivit nafshit, and in the psychological realm. So we can experience something which is uncomfortable in the physical realm or in the psychological realm. Now we're going to go into more detail. Hagufani, let's start with physical. Sovevet et kol ha'averot neged chukei hateva hamusar v'hatorah. You know, when it comes to physical pain can be induced or caused by improper behavior, improper exposure in the realm of the natural, the realm of the ethical, and the realm of the Torah. I'll tell you what that means in a second. Mekusharim chukei hateva, which are tied in with the laws of nature. Let's read a few more, and then I'll talk about it, because it's a very radical idea. Shesof kol hanaga ra'ahu la'avi machalot u'machovim. Ultimately, any negative behavior brings upon disease and pain. And we suffer from this much on the individual and on the collective level. Let's just back up and discuss this for a moment. He's saying something pretty radical, though I think that society more and more is coming to understand this better. And that is that there's no bifurcation between physical and non-physical. All existence is one. So therefore, we can experience disease for obvious reasons. That is, when we transgress against the laws of nature. How about eat the wrong food or too much of that food? Just give you one example, okay? Or don't exercise properly, right? Which includes not exercising at all or exercising improperly, right? People engage in improper punishing type of exercise. We have experts in that area. Not that you live that way, but you have to have professional knowledge about that. Okay. Okay. So that's the obvious one. We all understand that. If a person eats the wrong kind of food or eats too much food, so you're not going to feel well. Okay. But Rav Kook says the truth of the matter is when we behave improperly towards other people, you can also get physically sick. See, that to us is, yeah, because you are who you are. But can you imagine going to your doctor, right? You're going to go to a dermatologist, you have a rash on your arm. And doctor says, you speak any Lashon Hara? Have you gossiped lately? That's the reason you have a rash on your arm. You probably report that doctor to the Medical Board of California, right? That because of improper practice of medicine. But guess what? What very important source of teaching says that precise idea? The Torah itself says that. What happened to Miriam, the sister of Moshe, when she spoke ill of her brother? She got a rash, right? So you might say, that was true in biblical times. Rav Kook says it's not true just in biblical times. When we behave unethically towards each other, we get physical disease. So instead of rushing off to the dermatologist next time you get a rash on your arm, we might want to look inside at the way we relate to other people. Okay? So far so good? So that's a little radical. Okay? And then Rav Kook goes on, he says, you know what? Give you another example. How about if we behave improperly, not in the first two categories, that is, we eat too much food, right, or the wrong kinds of food, or we're not talking about we spoke ill of another person. How about if we didn't put on tefillin in the morning? Moria, did you put on tefillin yesterday? Uh-oh. It's not good today either. What phrase in the chutzpah? Okay, so, but for us men folk, right, didn't put on tefillin. So you might say, okay, I didn't put on tefillin. If you go around with a headache right here and a sore on your arm there, instead of taking a Tylenol, you might want to put on tefillin as long as it's still daylight. Even though we don't make a connection between those two things. But everything is connected. Everything is interconnected. Chizkiyahu, right? There's so many. The truth of the matter is, how about the flood in the time of Noah? People were behaving immorally, and there were meteorological disasters that came upon the earth. Now, like, what's the connection? You know, there's weird weather going on. Could there be a connection between weather and our behavior? And I'm not talking about behavior because exclusively on the environmental level, like too much carbon monoxide or whatever it is that we're doing, right? But how about on a moral level? Could there be a connection? So most people would say, oh, man. But you know what? Oh, man. Right? Jewish tradition says everything is interconnected. When we create negative energy, either because of unhealthy behaviors on the simple sense of the word unhealthy, or negative energy between the way we relate to other people, or negative energy we relate to God, that creates negative energy which in fact has consequences that we can feel in our body. But that's a blessing. The bad news is the good news. Because of the same reason we said before. Because pain is a gift to alert us to move forward. And therefore, after the clarification, that's become clear to us that I myself am responsible for the impoverishment of my life that's come upon me. That doesn't mean impoverishment in the sense of your bank account, though that could be true as well. But the fact that I feel lousy, I'm sick all the time. I have no vitality. I'm susceptible to every germ that crosses my radar screen, etc. Once we come to realize that we're not just a victim, I'm a victim of a germ. I was walking around minding my own business and a germ attacked me. No. I invited him in. I invited the germ in. So once a person realizes that, Harehu sam lev l'taken et hamatzav, then a person is incredibly empowered because we can change. If I caused it, I can fix it. That's the good news. Yes. I love that bumper sticker. I've seen bumper stickers in Israel. Right? If you believe that you can ruin, you must believe you can fix. Lashuv lechukei hachaim. What's that? Im ata ma'amin she'ata yachol lekalkel, ta'amin she'ata yachol lekalkel. I think the bumper sticker has it in a shorter version. You have to look it up. It's a good thing to do is bring back from Israel great Hebrew bumper stickers. Because talk of the town. Lashuv lechukei hachaim. We can return to the laws of life. Lishmor chukei hateva. To observe the laws of nature, that means to begin to eat well. Hamusar, the bein adam lechaveiro, alechem shalom boker tov, that to relate to each other properly. Torah, to relate to a Kadosh Baruch Hu properly. Leman yashuv, in order that the person can return. V'yichyeh, to live with full vitality. V'yashuvu elav ha'chaim b'chol ranutam. And they'll return to that person life with all of its freshness and effervescence. Sounds like Dench. Life with all its vitality can return. Hamedicina oseket bazeh amnom harbe. You know, medicine tries to understand this. But medicine apparently has not developed to the point to really fully grasp the interconnectedness between our physical state, the way we relate to Hashem, the way we relate to other people, and the way we relate to ourselves. And medical science has not yet discovered all of the solutions to our physical challenges. Why? For a very simple reason. Because, in fact, medical science doesn't fully understand the interconnectedness between everything. עד כמה שיש בגבולות החיים להחזיר לאדם את כל העבוד ממנו מצד החטאים מהרסי הגוף וכוחותיו. וכפי הנראה מקצוע של תשובה זו תלוי הוא בקשר חזק ביותר חלקי התשובה הרוחנית יהודית האמונה והשכלית. And everything, of course, is interconnected, and we'll understand this later as we go on. We will pause at this moment because it's a very secret learning session. We don't want anybody else to hear it. Keep it to yourselves, and we'll continue Bezrat Hashem tomorrow at 6:15. Be there or be square.